What just unfolded in Washington today is nothing short of historic, a moment that could redefine the future of millions living in the United States. After years of political deadlock, failed proposals, and endless debates, Congress has finally passed the 2025 Immigration Reform and Modernization Act, a sweeping, comprehensive overhaul of the nation's immigration system. This legislation represents one of the most significant changes in modern U.S. history, touching nearly every aspect of immigration from legal pathways for undocumented immigrants to major expansions in employment-based visas, protections for students and workers, and faster family reunification processes. For countless people who have waited years, sometimes decades, for clarity, this law could finally offer stability, opportunity, and a chance to build their lives without fear or uncertainty. The journey to this historic moment was anything but simple. Lawmakers faced intense negotiations, public pressure, and a host of competing interests. Civil rights groups, business leaders, immigrant advocates, and local communities all pushed relentlessly for a solution that balances fairness, efficiency, and security. And now, after years of frustration, the Senate has approved the bill with a decisive 61-39 vote. It is headed to the president's desk and is expected to be signed into law within days. Experts are calling this the most balanced, humane, and modern immigration reform the country has seen in decades. One of the headline features of the law is a 10-year legalization pathway for undocumented immigrants. For the first time in decades, individuals who have lived in the United States for years, sometimes decades, without legal status may now have a clear and structured path forward. To qualify, applicants must meet specific eligibility criteria, including proof of long-term residence, a clean criminal record, consistent employment or tax history, and evidence of community involvement. Those who qualify will first receive conditional legal status, which can then progress to permanent residency and, eventually, full citizenship. For millions who have lived in fear, this could finally be a path toward security and belonging. Employment-based immigration also sees major reforms under this bill. Country caps that have long created backlogs for nations like India and China are removed, clearing a path for thousands of skilled workers, healthcare professionals, engineers, and tech innovators. The new system combines merit-based evaluations with recognition for long-term contributions to the workforce and local communities. For workers trapped in decades-long queues, this reform offers hope for advancement and stability. Students graduating with STEM degrees will also benefit from smoother transitions from F1 student visas to H-1B work visas and eventually green cards, reducing the risk of losing talent that has been trained in the United States. Family-based immigration is another critical area seeing significant improvements. Families that have been separated for years may finally experience faster processing times thanks to digital case tracking, better transparency, and administrative changes designed to reduce backlogs. The law aims to cut current waiting periods by half by 2027 and restores unused visa numbers from previous years, giving families a real chance to reunite sooner than ever. For many, this is the long-awaited solution to reunite with loved ones and rebuild lives that have been disrupted for years. The bill also modernizes the U.S. border and asylum system, allocating billions in funding for advanced technology, AI-supported monitoring, and streamlined processing centers. Rather than relying on long-term detention, the law introduces community-based monitoring, legal reviews within 90 days, and a commitment to treat applicants with dignity while maintaining national security. These changes reflect a recognition that immigration reform must balance efficiency with humanity, ensuring that the United States remains both safe and welcoming. Entrepreneurs and innovators receive a notable boost through the introduction of a new startup visa. Founders from around the globe can now establish companies in the U.S., create American jobs, and contribute to the economy while pursuing permanent residency. This program is designed to position the United States as a top destination for global talent, encouraging students, researchers, and innovators to grow their businesses and careers within the country. The law makes it clear that the United States values ingenuity and long-term economic contributions. For students and young professionals, the reform adds much-needed protections. F1 students transitioning to H-1B and green cards will no longer face sudden departures or forced exits due to administrative delays. The law also improves protections for H-1B and L-1 visa holders, ensuring they cannot be exploited and can continue contributing their skills to the U.S. workforce. By maintaining continuity and stability, this legislation secures the future of highly skilled graduates and workers who are vital to the economy. Lawful permanent residents also benefit from significant updates. Those who have lived in the U.S. for over 10 years will now enjoy automatic re-entry eligibility after short trips abroad, reducing the anxiety of traveling internationally. Renewal delays are addressed with strengthened protections, reducing the risk of unjust denials, and increasing transparency in USCIS decisions. For residents who have called the United States home for decades, these changes bring peace of mind and predictability. Humanitarian protections expand significantly under this law as well. DACA recipients, TPS holders, and refugees receive a pathway to permanent residency, no longer reliant on temporary executive actions or uncertain court decisions. For dreamers and vulnerable populations, this represents stability, security, and the ability to plan their futures with confidence. Millions who have long lived under the shadow of uncertainty now have concrete opportunities to thrive. The political significance of this legislation cannot be overstated. It demonstrates that bipartisan compromise is still achievable in Washington, proving that meaningful reform can succeed when lawmakers, communities, and advocates work together. Economists predict that the law will boost tax revenues, reduce labor shortages, strengthen key industries such as technology and healthcare, and increase innovation across the nation. From Silicon Valley to small-town manufacturing centers, American communities are expected to experience tangible benefits from these sweeping changes. Once the president signs the bill, federal agencies including DHS and USCIS will issue detailed guidance, application instructions, timelines, and lists of required documents. Experts caution against filing prematurely and advise individuals to begin by gathering proof of residence, employment history, tax records, and identification. Demand will be enormous, so early preparation is crucial. While the passage of this reform is historic, implementation will determine its ultimate success. Efficient management, adequate staffing, and technological upgrades will be essential to ensure the law achieves its goals. Underfunding or mismanagement could undermine even the most well-intentioned reforms, creating delays reminiscent of past systems. In the months and years ahead, the country will watch closely as the law moves from paper to practice. For millions of immigrants, workers, students, and families, this legislation represents hope, opportunity, and a long-awaited chance to fully participate in the American dream. For the nation as a whole, it signifies a commitment to fairness, efficiency, and human dignity, reflecting a new era in immigration policy. The coming months will reveal how successfully this law transforms the immigration landscape and whether it can deliver on its promise of transparency, stability, and inclusion. As the historic reform takes shape, the eyes of the world remain on the United States, observing a system that has evolved from gridlock to potential efficiency. The bill's passage signals that reform is possible, that bipartisan cooperation can succeed, and that millions of people who have long-awaited clarity may finally have a path forward. It is a moment of hope, a time to plan, and an opportunity to act responsibly in preparation for the changes to come. Those impacted are advised to stay informed, organize their documents, and seek guidance while remaining patient as federal agencies roll out the official processes. This legislation represents more than policy, it is a statement of values. It emphasizes fairness, opportunity, and innovation while balancing the need for national security and efficiency. It is a rare moment in modern politics when ambition, pragmatism, and humanity align. For students, workers, dreamers, families, entrepreneurs, and long-term residents, this bill is the chance they have been waiting for, a chance to live, work, and thrive in a system that finally recognizes their contributions and provides a structured, legal, and fair path forward. As we continue to watch the rollout of this landmark law, one thing is clear: the United States has taken a historic step in reshaping immigration for the 21st century. Whether this leads to lasting change or faces future challenges, it will impact millions of lives for decades to come. For now, hope, preparation, and engagement are key. Music swells, signaling the weight of this historic moment. Millions of people are watching, planning, and hoping, and for the first time in decades, a path forward is clearly within reach.